Hello, it's Philip from eManage One Software for furniture dealers, and I'm so excited to show you this video demonstration of the new Haworth Web Services quote tool. We spent many years working with Haworth, getting this together and designing and testing, and it's finally here. And we honestly believe that this is going to hand you guys back hundreds, if not thousands of hours every single year of productivity, where your people right now are going to links and submitting pricing requests and sitting there hitting the refresh button anywhere from 3 to 40 minutes or longer, waiting for that pricing to come back. And while that may be considered work, we do not consider that work. So the quote service tool will allow you to submit your quotes, your pricing quotes directly to Haworth electronically from eManage using data that you already have without any duplication. And while it is processing, your people can be doing other things that are productive on other jobs and not wasting that time waiting for that quote to come back. eManage will automatically check every 40 seconds for that pricing quote coming back, and when it gets it back, will automatically apply it, the pricing back to your bill of materials and quote that it came from. So I have with me Stephen Edwards from the System Center. He's the Haworth dealer out there, and he's also an investor in eManage. He's been an investor since 2003, and basically, we watched him and his people and our other Haworth customers going to links and hitting refresh until they got their pricing back, and we didn't think that was an acceptable use of time. So we started talks with Haworth about three and a half years ago on getting web services, and it really came to a head when we created the Herman Miller Web Services earlier this year, or integration with it, and really found that we could do about 85% automation with them. So if you think about being a preferred Haworth dealer and how much of your business is Haworth, and think about what this automation can mean as far as the time handed back to you, it's just incredible. So Stephen, welcome.
Thank you.
And again, full disclosure, we are using his database. We're in California. His database is in Hawaii. So it will take a little bit longer than if you were in your own network to perform these pushes to Haworth, but generally you can count on between 5 and 25 seconds, no matter the size of the job. So Stephen, you want to just talk for a second about how long it took to set this up in your database once you got the release?
Yeah, sure. Basically, I just in my corporate division in the eManage administrator, I added my Haworth number and my company name, and then for each user that accesses links, we put their username and password on their user record, and that took about a minute per person, and we were up and running.
Okay, so yeah, so everybody out there, if you've got say 10 people on with links, usernames, and passwords, programming them into the system, which we obviously will help you do, it takes about a total of 10 minutes for 10 people. So in 10 minutes you can be up and running. If you don't want to do all 10 people, you want to test it out, cool, 1 minute per person. There's no other setup other than that. So in here I'm open up to a bill of materials, and just wanted to show off a little bit here about our integration with Project Spec. And you can see here that when we use Haworth product or anything else that is in Project Spec, we get a rendered image of that product right here. And if I double click on this, when it's already a part of my bill of materials, it's going to bring up my catalog viewer, and I can literally re-option any piece of this right here in the system without having to go back and reprice it. So anything coming from CET, that's either Haworth or is going to be Haworth and other product. You can put that all into one CET file, including walls and furniture from other manufacturers into your CET file. Export as XML. We wrote the only interpreter that I am aware of that will actually take that one XML file with the product from other manufacturers or things that are from the Project Matrix catalog and bring it in all at once. The quote tool will then separate out just the Haworth stuff, including walls and Haworth furniture, and use it to send up for the quote tool. So Stephen, does that sound pretty accurate about how you guys work?
Yes. So exactly. We now, previously to that interpreter, and previous to having to do some of those things, is we had to separate the files out. One file, XML file for walls, and another file for Haworth and other manufacturers.
And that would have been a CIF file as well, right?
Correct. Yeah. So one XML and one CIF file.
Okay.
Which also meant I had to upload 2 separate files to links as well.
Okay. So and were you able to upload them to the same project, or you had to do 2 separate projects in links?
We had to separate the walls and the furniture.
Okay. And so since we're using your database, you have companies and all of your SPAs and all the stuff already programmed in. So I'm sure everybody knows that. Also, again, we've tested all of these different projects and run them through because we wanted to show all the different variations of things that you're going to get back. So again, when you submit the quote for pricing from links, you will go and do other work that is actually necessary for your job. So you will not be waiting around for that, and it will come back and deliver it and apply it automatically. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to go into this quote here, which is for the Hilton Grand what? What is that?
I think that's the Hilton Grand Wailea.
All right, so we're going to go here to our quotes tab here, and we've got our sample of web service quote, and I'm going to go to my quote tools, and I'm going to submit a Haworth quote. Okay, so since Stefan had already actually used this before to send an order, it's got some of this information already filled out, and we're just going to put in the pricing contract type. So this would be what, System Center, right?
Yep.
Your System Center SPA.
Yep.
Okay, so this is a dealer bill. We have choices here for dealer and direct. So if you've got an SPA and you want to get the actual discounted for your customer back, you can do a direct bill, and that will give that back to you there. We also have submission types of pricing only, pricing and delivery group simulation, and delivery group simulation only, which will, these things, from what I'm told, it will add about 4 hours onto your processing time. So if you don't need that, do pricing only. It'll come back as quickly as possible. So we're just going to go ahead and submit here. And it's going to build the XML. And it's going to go ahead and submit. And you'll see down here there is a quote submission successful. We do have voice feedback in here. If you have it turned on, it'll actually talk to you and tell you that it's on its way, and it will go and do its own thing while you're doing others. So Stefan, what was the second one we wanted to do here?
Do that HBH there.
Okay.
That's a middle, say a medium-sized project, and then the Compass project is another small one.
Okay, so that first one that we did. Oh, look, our links pricing completed for that quote. While we were getting ready to do the next one, so we'll visit that in just a second. But this is actually going to stay there until we actually close it. So it's letting us know that that one is already complete. So here I'm going to do this test web services. This is basically a $64,000 quote. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And again, Stefan says it's a medium size. So we'll submit the Haworth quote. And this is HPH.
Yes, the second one there.
Okay. And again, we're doing pricing only. This is a dealer bill type. And we're going to go ahead and submit that. And again, we're hitting Stefan's database in Hawaii, so this will take probably 2 times longer than if we had it in our database here. So now we've got our quote submission successful. And just while we're talking about this, if I submit a quote and I go home or I go to lunch and I log out of eManage, what eManage will do is it will let somebody else that has a linked username and password go ahead and process this through, because what we do on the back end of this is we actually compile the turnaround time on all of these different quotes, so we can actually show you how much time we're handing back to you as productivity, that your people can actually do other things inside of the software. Okay, so we submitted that one, and what one do we want to do next?
You could do that Compass.
The Compass? Okay. And this is a small one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's another small one.
Okay, we'll go to quote. And so this is another small one. It should be coming back fairly quickly. So we're going to go to quote tools. We're going to submit the Haworth quote. And again, if you've already submitted one pricing request for this quote, it will come up with the last stuff that you already did. So it is a regular System Center SPA. Yep. Okay. And we're going to submit that. Okay, and that's off and going. And which one are we going to do next?
Let's do the FICO, the one to the right. Yeah.
Okay. So this we did 2 of these, and we wanted to do 2 of these because one of them we wanted to fail, and one of them we wanted to succeed. And this actually has, what, about 500 and some odd line items on it, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do this is the one that's going to work correctly, right? And does this stuff would have pictures on it, correct?
Yeah, actually that one has 336 line items on it.
Okay, but these would have pictures, right? These besides storage?
Maybe not those particular items, the counterweights, but maybe some other items may.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try it. So I just want to show people that when you highlight some of these things and they don't have pictures in them already because they were drawn on another computer, you can highlight these and you can right-click and you can read the pictures from PMatrix. Okay, so that will go out and search through the it will search through the symbols and grab the images of those. So these look like spider webs to me, but it is grabbing those pictures and attaching them to that for the quote. So anything else will get a regular picture like it's supposed to. And when we go here to quotes, we're going to go ahead and submit. Which one do I want to do first? This one here, yeah. Okay. Yes. So we're going to submit. And remember, this is about 500, or I'm sorry, you said 300?
Yeah, it's about 330 some on.
Okay, so this may take a little bit longer to submit. We're going to go ahead and choose our contract type, which is?
FICO, F-I-C-O.
Okay.
There you go.
And we're doing pricing only. This is a dealer bill?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what would happen if we did direct bill on that? Since they have their own SPA? Since they have their own SPA and we did direct bill, wouldn't it bring back the pricing?
Correct. Okay. But we'll have to remove the sold to.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and do this. We do have a direct bill that we're going to do, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this one. So again, this has a bunch of line items. It's going to take a little bit just to create the XML. But if you notice over here, while that's happening, we do have the links pricing completed now for 3 of those submissions. And again, these notifications will stay up until I close them. So if you walk away from your desk or you're doing something else, these will stay up and let you know that they are there. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually we'll pause the video or we'll cut out the part of the video where we're waiting, because a 395 or 300 some odd line item quote might take 15-20 minutes, and I'm sure you guys have better things to do than sit there and watch this video with nothing happening for that long. So when this submits, we're going to do the second test on here, and then I think we've got one more. Is that correct?
Yeah, one more is the direct bill, which is that contract furniture.
So we'll take this test web services 2.
Yeah.
And
that
we'll go into, I'm sorry?
That one will be the one that fails.
Okay.
We get an error back from
So we've got that, and we're going to do a pricing only.
Yes.
And this is the correct contract type, yes?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and submit that. Did one of them have more line items than the other, or no?
Just a few line items more. Basically what happened is why we got the error in links is that there were specials on it, and the specials haven't been loaded in the links yet.
Okay. And just so you know, we are using a QA site as well until the actual rollout. But eManage 1 will be ready from day 1. Since we have been developing and testing along the way, we will be turning these web services on the day that Haworth decides to turn them on, and I think we're pretty close to that. And so while this processes, again, you can see over here, 3 done. We've got that other quote submission that says it was successful. It will return an error if you do have a sold to or something that is not available to you. So we'll tell you invalid partner number or unauthorized partner number, stuff like that. So, okay, we've got one more to do. And which one's that going to be?
The contract furniture right there.
Okay. Click on that.
And this one has over 500 parts.
And they're the 500 Haworth line items?
Pretty close to that. Yes.
Okay. Actually, since this has a few of these that don't have pictures or have old pictures from before, I'm going to go ahead and highlight these first 3 things here. And I'm just going to right-click and read the pictures so you guys can see that happen. Okay, so you can see that that actually is loading in the pictures there. And those pictures will show up on your quote. So we can go ahead and go over here to our quotes tab, and we're going to click on this, and we're going to submit the Haworth quote. You notice also that the quote submission things go away while the completed and failed notifications do not go away. So we're going to not put a sold to in this one, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to use which?
GSA.
Okay, and
middle one.
Middle one, okay.
Yes.
And so we're doing direct bill here as opposed to dealer. So that's going to give us back our end user and customer discount and give us our discount here. So what that means to eManage is that it will also figure out your DSF, your dealer service fee, along with that, and fill it out so that when you go to bill or make your order, it will have the correct amount that you're going to get from Haworth. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this. And again, this will probably take about 40 seconds or so to build since it's that many line items. And again, if you're in your own network, maximum it's going to take is 20-25 seconds to build that entire XML and submit it off.
Yeah, Philip, what this is going to do to us is literally save us so much time with our designers. Particularly, they are the ones that will upload the pricing into links, and we all know how precious design time is and how busy they are, and with them having to stop what they're doing and then go to links, start a new project, fill out all the information, and then upload the file, and then process it, and then they sit there and hit that refresh button because they don't know how fast they're going to get it back. So, you know, maybe they'll get it back in a minute. On average, I would say 5, maybe 10 minutes, even up to, you know, 30 minutes. Then when we have large projects, we've seen it, you know, if there are 1,000 or 2,000 line items, it's taking hours to get it back. So,
and you do run every single project through links, is that correct?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that all those are submitted, I did want to show that, and we don't recommend doing this for anybody because it kind of defeats the purpose of doing things this way instead of sitting there refreshing on links. However, we do have here your open manufacturer pricing requests and your recently completed MFG pricing. So basically, if we look at these things together, this is basically your links inside of eManage, what you'd be seeing. So up here we have our 3 that are transmitted that are not done yet. And we have our ones that were recently done. So you can see that these were done 10/1, 3/14. It is now, oh, that's your time. So take add 3 hours onto that. That's 6/14, 6/12, and 6/11. What we also get in here is our turnaround time in minutes. Okay, so literally this one took less than a minute to process. This one took 2 minutes. This one took 1 minute. These were very, very compact projects. So, actually, that HPH, was it small?
That one was about 70,000, 60, 70,000, I think.
Okay. Okay, it looks like one more just, did one more just come down? No. Okay. So anyway, from here, from this list, you can see this refreshing. It's got an auto refresh here. It actually refreshes every about 40 seconds or so, each one independently. And again, we don't recommend people sit here and watch it because you might as well be sitting there refreshing it on links if that's what you're going to do. So, but this is available. Again, if you submit a quote while you're and then log out, go to lunch, whatever, leave for the day. Any other person logged in that has a links ID will be processing these through, and you will see the notification will actually come up for the person that submitted it when you log back in and it's completed. So we do that so that we can give you an accurate turnaround time and show you exactly how much time we're saving. So again, these other ones are going to take some time. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video and wait for that to complete, and then we will be back to show the turnaround time on those and what it looks like when something fails. And then we'll go in and look at the pricing and show what we store when the pricing comes back in. And we'll see you in just a few minutes. For those of you watching the full video here, we just got another pricing back, and that was on $58,493. You can see that it left the top part and went down to the bottom. So we'll be back with the last two. Okay, so for those of you watching the entire video of this without the cut, you can see now that that second FICO quote came back failed. Now in our final release and Haworth's final release of these web services, the URL to get to links just specifically to that quote will come across there, and you'll be able to go directly to links and open that up and see exactly what the errors were, correct them inside of eManage for resubmission, so you can then get the correct pricing back. Okay, so it looks like our final one has come back as confirmed. Right now, eManage in the background is applying the pricing, and as it applies the pricing, it will move from here, the top grid to the bottom grid, and we will get our notification over here that it completed successfully. So as soon as that happens, we're also going to see the turnaround time, and we can take this entire time that we have been doing this and add that together, and I can confidently report to you that that is time that we will be handing back to you as productive time from your designers or whoever is submitting this for pricing. So, Stefan, do you have anything to say while we're waiting for that to apply the pricing?
Not so much, except that I'm really, really, really excited that we're going to have this tool, and it's going to be huge for our business.
So while we were waiting for this to complete, Stefan and I were talking about some of the things that happen between Canvas and eManage that are pretty important about saving the time. So it looks like it just came up completed. We're going to see it cycle out of here within the next 40 seconds and show up down here as well during that auto refresh. But you can see now I have all 5 of my, I have 6 because we did twofer. And so we've got our 6 things completed or failed here. If you look, that was that one that we expected to fail that we actually made fail. So you can see what it looked like that when something failed there. And there you can see it's left our grid up top and moved to the bottom here. And it does say manufacturer pricing applied. So I'm going to go ahead and close this top grid here. And we're just going to look at the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the auto refresh for now. So from here, I can actually go into these projects just by highlighting, and also we can basically take a snapshot of how much time that is. So that's 37, 52, 53, 55, about 55 and a half minutes that we literally will be handing back as productive time, not sitting there refreshing links to get that. So anyway, you can highlight these, you can right click, you can go into the bill of materials and go straight into the quotes. I'm going to go into the, which one was the direct bill, Stefan? Was it this one?
Yes, that one.
Okay, so I'm going to go into that direct bill project, and if it's already open and I go to the BOM, it's just going to bring it up here already open. So, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh this, refresh the grid so that it will show me all of the direct bill pricing. So you can see here I have a discount, customer discount overall. Now this is the entire project including installation, stuff like that, of a 49.88. If I actually expand this out, we've got our different tags, and we'll see that most of them, the Haworth stuff, is somewhere between 67.97. You can see that they're all the different structures here. Okay, and then actually one last thing I'm going to do, or actually one of 2 last things I'm going to do here, is I can actually turn on the item change history, and this is actually going to tell me, and in fact in here, I'm going to close these over here, it's actually going to tell me what changes were made to the bill of materials, even from the Haworth quote tool. So if I go scroll over here a little bit, oh, this is recent completed. I need that to be gone. And we're just gonna, let's click on this one here. Okay, and inside of this is actually gonna tell us that the Haworth quote tool was the last thing to modify. Last thing to modify this bill of materials and the items on the bill of materials, and it changed the customer discount. Now, in our final release of this, coming out right when Haworth comes out with their final release, This will actually say what it changed the discount from and to. So you will see a complete history of every single change to that bill of materials. If we click this button here, it will actually go through a history forever. So any change made by anybody, it will show us exactly what was done to this bill of materials forever, based on whatever I have checked or whatever I'm showing in my bill of materials. So, Stefan, any comments about that? It's basically an undo. I mean, you could do an undo from that information of every change to the bill of materials that anyone made, correct?
Yes, and this just came up this past week with one of our designers, and going back that something was changed, and it ended up being that a salesperson was in there and made a change and didn't realize, they said it was by accident, but anyways, it pointed that the designer did it, but when we actually went back and looked at it, the salesperson did touch it.
Okay, so this, again, you can see the dates on here, that this will actually go back from the release, I guess it was one release ago of eManage that we started tracking all this. So it is a complete history of every single change to every single line item, whether it's Haworth's quote tool, Herman Miller's quote tool, or any user of the software that is changing any part of that bill of materials. So the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go over and I'm going to print the quote for this so you can see.
Hey, Philip, why don't you print a quote off of FICO?
Okay.
Because we included their customer logo on there.
Okay. So this is our brand new quote that we came out with maybe about 5 weeks ago. Through customer feedback, it has gotten better and more refined. If you don't know, we are 100% US-based, US-based development, US-based support, and we are furniture software. We're not trying to be anything else. We concentrate solely on furniture. So, which is the one that failed, Stefan, and which one? Let me see if I can.
Do the second one there.
Okay. So we're going to print the quote. Just going to go here to the printer. And we're going to use original. With our software, you get a report designer and you can modify any of our reports to make them more to your liking. You can put your own terms and conditions in your own format, anything you want to do there. So in our new quote, we do have the ability to attach your customer's logo, and it will use their logo on their cover page. And you'll see here we have our quote number prepared by, if you do fill it out, we've got the prepared for and the expiration date. So we've got a confidentiality agreement or statement here. We've got the company's address and phone number and website. This is our cover page. Okay, actually, let's go and modify those quote settings so we have a clear picture there. So I'm going to double click here. Also, you know what, this will give me a chance to show the history. Every single time you do a pricing request to Haworth, we actually store that against the quote itself. So if you look here, there is MFG pricing request history. So every time you've sent it up to Haworth, we also keep the XML that you submitted to them through eManage and the response. So we recommend that if you have any problems using this functionality, you call eManage first for support, and and we will be your source of support for anything to do with the web services. Anyway, I can just open up. If I need to get a hold of Haworth to dispute anything or they have questions, I can literally open the XML that they sent back to us based on the XML that we sent to them anytime, instantly. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a summary type here. And I'm going to do, what should I do, Stefan? Option what?
Go ahead and do the phase.
Okay.
Either phase or that.
So the phase for us is the tagging, and this is going to give us on our summary page a summary type for the tagging. And we also have direct bill vendor in here. So if it is a direct bill, you can do this, and it will show Haworth as cutting the PO to Haworth as opposed to our payment schedule based on what our terms of sale is. Okay, so okay, so if we change this terms of sale to, let's say we do a 50% deposit net 10 days, we get our schedule here, and so if we were doing direct bill, it would take this part out and add in Haworth as the billing party. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to print that. Okay, so now we've got this filled out here with the prepared for. We've got our quote number, we've got our valid for, and this valid for is a countdown of the number of days. And we've got our summary page, and you'll see it's got our tagging breakout here, and it's got our price per, and it's got our number of items in each of those. And then we go into our parts and pieces themselves, along with all the options. If any options were skipped, they'll show up in red. For our customer, when we export this, and we can email directly from eManage to our customer, but when we export that and email it out, they actually get bookmarks. So we can see we can go straight to any one of our tags and see the items in there. We can also go into and look at any of the parts in there, clicking on them, and your customer gets those as we export that as a PDF. So, Stefan, do you have anything to add there?
No.
How about the deposit invoice? So let's say that you sent this out to your customer, and then they said we have to have a deposit invoice with that. So what we do is...
Yeah, that's been a huge benefit. We've been really happy with that.
So if we need to generate a deposit invoice, we've already given them the quote, we can simply choose a deposit invoice type, and we can do it by option phase or the manufacturer or product type or category here. We'll do option phase.
Do it by category, Philip.
Okay. So option category, and any special text, we can say, please review color and fabric choices carefully before accepting quote and remit deposit. Is remitting a word? Remitting deposit? Sure. Remitting deposit. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and just print this deposit invoice. If I had chosen this before we printed the quote and actually sent it at the same time, it would be a part of the quote report, but I can print it separately right here. Okay, so in the background here we have our deposit invoice. It's done by option and category. So we have our services, and then we have our materials. We could also do that by manufacturer. Okay, we can do it by product type. So if I just switch that and I print it again, that's going to have Haworth, and of course we don't have a manufacturer for our services, so that comes in as NA. We can do product type, and this will give us all our different product types broken out and what those prices, tax, everything, and our deposit amount. And this looks pretty much like a not a pro forma invoice, but an actual invoice, so they don't have a problem with paying that. What also happens with that invoice is it goes onto your list of open deposit invoices here, and it stays there until you either change that deposit type to none, or you get a deposit from your customer, or you make the quote invalid. So if I go here to my open deposit invoices, I get a list of everything that I'm expecting to get in, really get in from our customers, at least as deposits. And we don't count it as income, so we don't keep that as income. We keep it as an other current liability where it belongs until it's done. So the reason why that didn't come in is either that project is canceled or it's already been booked with an order. So
actually, yeah, that has been booked.
Okay, so once it's booked and any kind of invoice has been done, the deposit invoice will not show up on that. So, all right, so I think that pretty much does it. Stephanie, you have anything else to add?
No, none at this time.
All right, well, we appreciate you watching, and we're really excited to have brought this to you. As with everything, we will be paying attention to how our customers use it through GoToMeetings, watching them work, and through feedback, and we will be improving where we can. There will be many other videos talking about the ordering, the acknowledgments. We are going to be pushing for invoices and shipment notifications coming as well in the future. So we hope to have that for you very soon. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.